What's going on, people, and welcome to a brand new episode of Too Many Games and Not Enough Time. Now, as you can see from the jump, I'm looking a little bit different. You can see the shades, you see the beach in the background. That's because the guest I've got today, you know what? He is the swagger don. That man there is the champion when it comes to being stylistic. So I had to just up my game a bit because I didn't want him to outdo me too much. Now, on today's episode, we have a presenter and a producer. I'm talking this guy bangs out content for like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. But you also see him banging out content for things like supercars, like Mustangs. And you also see this man banging out content for things like yachts. And you can even see him lacing it down with the Trekkies then for Trek culture. And he is easy on the eye, so mind that he don't lay down. You know what? Let me not get him into trouble. Welcome, Marcus Bronzy, to Too Many Games. How are you doing,
so
my
much,
bro?
Marcus. That's easily the best intro I've had ever. Thank you so much, bruv. You know what? You set me up, man. I got the do-rag on. I'm out here looking disheveled in a grey hoodie. So yeah, thank you, Midas, for telling everybody that things do look better at other times.
Thank you so much for joining me on Too Many Games. Now, most people who actually know me in the industry, 9 times out of 10, if you see me at events or places, you'll see me with Marcus. But what I want you to know is this is not a trick, all right? This isn't the Spider-Man meme where he points at me and I point at him. We are 2 different people. So I'm just gonna make that clear. So welcome to the podcast. Now, this is gonna be a strange one because we've done many podcasts together. You featuring me on How to Kill an Hour, which we'll speak about in a bit. But as you know, Too Many Games is a short form podcast. We've never done a small chat. We've never smoked for a short period of time. So I'm going to see how we get through this.
So you politely said to me, let's keep it sweet, let's keep it short. If I see you doing that in the background to wrap it up, man, 100%.
I'll just tell you to shut up, man. You're my brother, innit? I'll just tell you to shut up.
Shout out to all those industry people, by the way, real quick, that are looking going, hang on, what's going on here? How's Midas and Marcus talking to themselves? Surely they're the same person. No, we're not. All right, we don't look the same. Okay.
Yeah. We're 2 different people. Not all black people look the same. Now, on a serious note, we've known each other for a few years now, and you are probably arguably the hardest worker I know in this industry. And people say that a lot to me, but you take it to a whole nother level. So you are a presenter, a producer, and you are the man behind How to Kill an Hour. So if you had to sum up How to Kill an Hour in just one sentence, how would you sum up How to Kill an Hour in a sentence?
We do cool and talk about it. And it's mostly about tech.
Cool. It's all right, you can swear. It's all right. You can say cool shit if you want to say cool shit.
We look for cool shit to do. We find cool shit and we show it to you so you can find cool shit to do. So whether that's gadgets, tech, a little bit of gaming as well, we kind of give it the real kind of, I think, honest conversation and break things down, simmer them down so that we can talk about them in a way that maybe people that are new to certain types of tech can get involved with it. You know, like when we had to explain what a podcast was a few years ago to people. Yeah, that's kind of what we do. Yeah, so it's conversations, and we also have great guests as well, like yourself, Midas. You've come on, you've spoken about your experience with gaming, your writing, your producing as well. I think that's why we get on, because I think you and I are both, we like to see the vision through. So if we have the vision, we'll write it, get someone to film it, get it edited or edit it ourselves, put it together and make it happen. I think we really enjoy making the stew.
Yeah, you know we're dinosaurs, innit? We come from the old school background. So I come from TV, you come from radio and broadcasting and TV. So we come from a older world, and when it comes to producing content, where a lot of these kids, their first interaction with creating content is YouTube and Twitch. So they've come from a whole different journey from us.
Yeah, man. I think there was a time when I remember in the industry, people would be like, who are these YouTubers? Like, they weren't a legitimate platform. And now you'd never hear that. And I think it's a great thing. And I want to say really quickly as well, I love the fact that there's YouTube, there's live streaming sites, there's places you can put your podcast, because there's a lot of people that wouldn't be able to make content, like yourself and I, that was outside of what the mainstream content was. Like, I think you've had a lot of ideas that have worked the best for you. They've been your ideas that you've made and put together, not necessarily you being pulled in by a big channel company or agency. Not saying that's when you're working with TV channels, it ain't good content, Midas, it is, but I love the fact that we can use, we can just get
it's
in our
raw,
own.
Innit? It's raw.
We can the quality's there as well, though. It's raw, but the quality's there. Like, you're on a beach, I'm in a studio. We can record from wherever we want in the world. We sound good, we look good, and people can focus on what's right, and that's the content that we're making. So I love that, man. If you're a content creator out there, crack on, man. Keep doing your job.
Love it. So when me and Marcus talk, we have big conversations. We talk about health, we talk about life, everything. Yep. But before the conversation ends, Marcus always says to me, what are you playing? And we talk about what we're playing all the time. And you've been in the gulag, my G. Like, you are really into Warzone. Like, what is it about Warzone that's really captured you?
Do you know what? Thank you for asking that question, because I think, and I won't go too deep with you, because like you said, we have deep conversations, but I think there's a number of reasons. One of the reasons I like Warzone is that the length of game is amazing. Like, you get yourself a nice 20-25 minutes a game where you get increased pressure. If you don't know Warzone, I'm going to presume you do on this channel, there's 150, you drop onto a map and you've got to eliminate each other, and you can be in teams of 1, 2, 3 or 4, whatever. That's it, right? But it's a massive map, and that was a big change. When Call of Duty said they were going to get into the battle royale side of things, I wasn't convinced they could really create a game that takes everyone. But I feel like the gulag is where I spend a lot of time when I'm on Warzone. But like, I feel like the reason it got me is because it's like chess. I call multiplayer checkers now, yeah, and Warzone is chess. You have to be strategic. You have to think about where the circle's going. You have to think, well, if I'm in that team and there's only 2 of them and there's 4 in our team, what are we going to do? Or if there's only 2 people in your team and there's a team of 4, what can you do to get, the strategic advantage? Have you got snipers on your crew? Have you got people on your team with rocket launchers? What's your loadout like? There's so many dynamics in that game that just make it, if I'm honest, I didn't like it when I first started playing Warzone. I found it overwhelming, and I know a lot of my friends did struggle. That I don't like this, I just want to go back to multiplayer. But once you play a few games with the right people, it becomes an amazing thing. And that leads me on to my second point. I think, especially during this pandemic that we've had over the last year or so, gaming has become a social thing. And I've got to say, when I'm playing Warzone, I have some of the funniest conversations. I have some of the most jokes. I meet people through, like mutual friends. I meet new people that I might play a couple of games with and like their banter, and then they happen to be online at the same time as me. And I feel like the social experience of Warzone is probably, for me, just as good, maybe even more, because some of the jokes that you have, like when someone messes up and sets off a C4 or a Semtex around you and it mashes themselves up and you might lose a game, you might have that person in your team that gets really angry, and like you when you're playing Overcooked, Midas, like you when you're playing Overcooked, you get a person like that in the team, and you get a person like me who in Overcooked is like throwing tomatoes around and having a laugh and messing around. And for me, in short, the social aspect is massive for me when I'm getting into Warzone.
That's a really important point that you're saying about the social aspect, because big up our friend Kat Osman, CEO of Lick PR, and she's always banging it, and you lot get to play together a lot. And with COVID, like COVID's been super difficult for everyone, but us as creators and us as gamers have been able to socialize with friends. And like, I've been banging bare Apex lately, and I've been playing it a lot with my brother, and it's probably the most me and my brother's ever gamed together. And I'm just like, I'll just message him. We've gamed together for years, but I mean, like as a co-op thing, and I'll just message him at like midnight and be like, Rod, do you want to jump on Apex? He was like, yeah, let's do this. So that social aspect of gaming does something that nowhere else can really do.
100%. I make you right. And funny you should mention Kat, because Kat introduced me to a guy called Martin that we play Warzone with, and he got engaged recently, right? And I was like, oh, happy engagement. And then like a video went around, like people shared a few videos on social, whatever. And I realized this guy that I've been playing Warzone with for a year, I'd never seen him before. But I was like, I was like his mate, congratulating him for getting engaged. I knew about the engagement beforehand. So we're playing games of Warzone and we thought, hey, what are you going to do it? You're going to do, he wanted to do it on a bridge or whatever in some romantic environment. I was, this guy's my brethren now. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, but I hadn't seen him until I saw his proposal video. And I was like, wow, like, I don't want to get too deep, but like Warzone, like I've made friends off there. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. And Kat, I tell you what, let me say this on the record. She is someone not to be messed with in Warzone.
Say, Kat,
look at her stats,
Kat's on smoke in real life, so it doesn't surprise me.
She plays it down. She's good, bruv. She's good.
Kat, shout out you.
Yeah, shout out. She's good, All
right, cool. Let's change the subject. All right, we've spoken enough about the Warzone. Now, I have to congratulate you as you are one of the lead presenters for Trek Culture, which is a channel for What Culture, all about the Trekkies and them people. But I want you to give me an elevator pitch right now for a Star Trek game. All right, so a new next gen Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 Star Trek game. I've got all of the P's in the bank. I got meals upon meals and I've got Bitcoin. You get me? So like you get in an elevator with me. I got all of that dough and you want to make a game of Star Trek. Pitch it to me real quick.
I got two games for you, because this is how serious I'm about pitching. I've got two pitches for you. One of them, No Man's Sky crossed in the Star Trek universe. So we have like a DLC or a remake of the game where instead of their ships, you have all Star Trek ships, all the Star Trek IP, all of the Star Trek planets. You got 50 years of Star Trek IP to pack into that, Plus, you can add different commanders, voices if you wanted to. You could bring back Janeway, bring back Cisco, bring back Picard. You can do all of that. So that's one game, which I think would be absolutely amazing, right? That would be sick.
I would love to be able to... idea.
That's a sick idea, right? Because the game's already there, Midas. They've already got a big universe. You can already meet people. You can have your ship. All you got to do is give us the skins, man. Come on, CBS. Come on, Paramount. Second game would probably be third person. Well, actually, no, because we'd have that in No Man's Sky. We'd have some shoot 'em ups as well when you're in your ship. My next idea would probably be a revamp of Bridge Crew, man. It's a game that's out already. It's like a VR game where you're in the ship all the time and you're flying through the universe. I would just love, like I just said, I'd love to have all of the characters that are still alive that can voice their characters to come in and get involved in the game. I think the next step for me is to be in VR, be on my Oculus Rift, be on my PlayStation VR, and be talking to Scotty, be talking to Picard, be talking to Janeway, be talking to Cisco, and have them responding to me. But that would require immense amount of recording for them to be able to have responses to me.
An immense amount of budget as well.
You said you got millions of Bitcoin, so you know what? I'm doing it. We're making it happen.
You know what I would do?
We take technology. We take technology, that a deep fake technology, and we'd record everyone's voices and get enough recordings to make them say whatever they need, and then give them like a Siri type kind of AI. So you could be like, "Yeah, what's happening, man?" And like Benjamin Sisko be like, "What's happening?" You get me? I'd like that, bro.
What if I said, will you eat green eggs and ham on a pan? What would his response be?
I'm sorry. Yeah, you give him a snappy response, innit? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'd like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Something like that would work. Like it's like when Siri disses you. When you say you ask Siri a question and Siri's like, "Suck your mum, fam." Or something like that. Yeah. Well,
you know when you could jailbreak your phone back in the day. I don't do that because it's illegal. Apparently I did. No, but I had a jailbreak on my phone and I made rude Siri. So I'd be like, "Siri, your mum," and she'd say your mum joke back to me all the time. All the time.
Such a big ass kid. So like I said, you do so much in the world of tech. And something that really, really interests me is how much gaming is now being implemented into like supercars and things like that. Yeah. So what is a supercar that's blown your mind when it's had something gaming wise?
Gaming wise, I think one vehicle that really blew my mind in terms of what you could do, and it's probably not really as much of a supercar. So if this is a cop out, tell me and I'll go again, Midas. Yeah, but I was in the Honda E, which is this new electric vehicle from Honda, which looks like their old Civic, which, you know, my old uncle probably maybe had, but he might have been too young for it back then. Yeah, it's an old car, but they electrified it, and the car is just packed full of screens. So your whole dashboard from left to right is screens, including your wing mirrors. There's no wing mirrors on the car. There's just HD cameras that point backwards that you actually have. It's really weird getting used to. But it's also got a 240 volt socket, or a 120 in America, I guess, and a HDMI lead. So I just plugged the Nintendo Switch into it. I was playing Mario Kart in the car. Obviously, I wasn't driving at the same time. So
Obviously.
That's one thing. And then on the new Teslas, you can actually have a game. When you're charging your car, you can sit down at the steering wheel and there's a driving game that you can play. A good friend of ours, Ori Styler, he always messes around on Instagram doing that on his car. So you see him when he's charging his car playing like a driving game at the same time, which is cool because you're using your actual wheel of your car and your accelerator.
That's so sick. That is so sick. All right, before I let you go, like I said, we're only a short form podcast. Tell people what it is about How to Kill an Hour that's really kept you growing as a creator, because I think How to Kill an Hour is super dope. Before I even knew who you was, I remember just seeing this light skin you and Ace, and I used to be like, who's this light skin you and Ace? And then I listened, and your interviews are so good, and I learned things that just kind of blow my mind about creatives and stuff like that. So what is it about the show that's made you continue going on and pushing the podcast and not be like, all right, I've done this now, let me move on and do something different?
I'll be honest with you, it's just the control, bro. I think that's one thing that I think is a blessing for us creating our own content on our own platforms. It's just the pure control. The fact that and it's not just control like evil genius kind of vibe, yeah, not like that. It's just the fact that we can, it's just the fact that Rebellion. Shout out to Rebellion for that. No, I got something. I got something for them. Once again, I'll get it out. I got this actually. Super quick digression. Shout out to Rebellion for that, man.
Evil genius.
So yeah, what it is the fact that it's control, and not just control because I want to be like, I want to do this. It's the fact that myself and the people around me, we can be like, think of an idea, make it happen, and do it. And I think I'm proud to be a black man in the industry that is moving in the right direction, but still there isn't enough diversity in. I think the fact that we have a great level of quality output, the fact that we have a great network of people like yourselves, shout out to Nate Saga, shout out to INL, shout out to everyone that's creating content, that we have been part of something that is changing the face of what it means to be a representative of somebody who likes gadgets, tech, and gaming, because I don't think it was necessarily seen as a genre that black people would be interested in. I remember everyone thought I was going to do it like a music podcast, because that's where I came from, music radio. Yeah. But it's not. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. I love music. Do you know what I mean? You have massive connections with dancehall. Midas, in it. That goes without saying. So yeah, man, it's the control, and it's the fact that we can sometimes have a podcast where we just bust joke. We can sometimes have a podcast where we have a really serious conversation. We can sometimes have a podcast with guests as well. It's kind of like me just, it's an expression of who I am and a team working together. That's what it is, really. But yeah, we talk about tech. Hopefully at the end of every episode, you learn a little bit of something and you have a bit of a laugh as well.
That's dope. Well, before you go, I have to congratulate you. Big yourself up for presenting at the BAFTA Game Awards. It made me super proud, my G. Big up for the 100,000.
You sure they didn't think I was you and they just asked you back again?
Yeah, I think they just thought you was me. And the 100,000 on Trek Culture. Congratulations for your pod continuing being successful. Just keep doing the stuff you're doing. Keep being the coolest guy on road. I'm proud of you, my brother, and keep up the work, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Bless up, man. Thank you very much. Thank you,
fam. Like I can't level with you, but I'm trying. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Too Many Games and Not Enough Time. Make sure you go and check out Marcus Bronzy, everything he's doing. Go and check out How to Kill an Hour. You'll see me on there as well, so you should already know. Command's doing the reviews and things over there. Quick plug. What do you want people to go and look at right now?
Woo! At Marcus Bronzy on all social medias, because that will be your route into all things at How to Kill an Hour and at Trek Culture as well. Yeah, like thank you for that. We just passed 100 K followers. We've hit 1 million on a few videos as well. So if you're into your Trek stuff, that's where you want to go. If you're into your tech stuff, How to Kill an Hour is where you want to go. And yeah, man, just if you want good vibes, also on Midas's timeline as well, because we post each other all the time as well. So that's all good.
Yeah, simple. I've been Mr.
Bless.
Midas. He's been Marcus, and we out. Peace.
Peace.